Michael Myers returns in Halloween. Plus, one man, a trusty sawed-off shotgun, and a chainsaw arm battles an unspeakable evil unleashed from a book gone bad. Fight hordes of deadites and demons across a horrific pixel art hellscape, filled with level after level of dangers. El Jefe returns in Ash vs. Evil Dead. Two standalone games that can be played individually or connected to heighten the horror. Enter the retro realms, if you dare.
I am from beyond. Listen, and all you desire will be yours. Welcome to Spider-Dan and the Secret Wars. Prepare for Prattle. Shock-Phobia Fest.
Welcome to Prattle World. I'm your host, the ever-amazing, ever-spectacular Spider-Dan, and in this podcast I spotlight entertainment's best-kept secrets that a mainstream audience may find boring. And welcome to Shock-Phobia Fest, a month-long celebration of All Hallows Eve's most frightening films and comic spooks. Ooh, and it's Halloween 2025, and I'm coming to you solo, all by myself. So I got a bit Palps there, got a bit Palpatine. So this year, because I'm mostly going to be away for October, my dad is taking myself, my sister, and my nephew to Florida. We're going to do the Universal Studios thing, so if you want to be there for Halloween and for the debut of the new kind of Epic Park, I think, which encompasses Universal Monsters stuff and Super Mario and some other shit going on. I'm sure I'll have more information about it later in the year, but I just thought to simplify things, I was just going to do this by myself. I just thought I'd do, obviously there'll be some variety and the patrons will be voting for each of these. And so again, we're going to do a comic, which I'm going to do today, which you'll know is Army of Darkness 2018 from Dynamite Entertainment, which I'll be talking about shortly. And then we'll have a Clone Wars, a top 5, and then a film as well. So I'm going to do all of those by myself. I'm recording early, so this one is coming, or is being recorded in January to come out in October. So if there are any dated references I'm making, you know why. So yes, but yeah, let's get started. So Army of Darkness, I love Sam Raimi, love The Evil Dead, absolute classics of the genre, hilarious, funny. When you think horror comedy, you think Evil Dead, you think Evil Dead 2 especially. Again, not sacrificing the horror, not sacrificing the comedy, a perfect balance of both. And again, it's a pretty solid franchise, I think, as films go. I can't really complain with any of the entries. Evil Dead Rise, the reboot or remake, whatever you want to call it, and even the original films, the TV show, Ash versus the Evil Dead, you name it. Like it's all good shit. And they've had a healthy run of comic books as well, including this one, which we're going to talk about. There are Evil Dead comics as well, or Evil Dead 2, because the rights is a bit more complicated than I care to get into right now, but yeah, let's go for it. So this is from 2018. There was a whole slew of Halloween specials they did, and at the back of this, they have kind of an interview about another another comic book I covered, which was Reanimator versus Vampirella, or Vampirella versus Reanimator, which was also from Dynamite Comics as well. And I put this, Red Sonja, Betty Page, and Vampirella as the choices, and again, given Ash's popularity, Bruce Campbell's popularity, Sam Raimi, and the Evil Dead and Army of Darkness films, and various franchise stuff, even the video game I really enjoyed. It is no surprise really that it won. So there you go. So we're going to kick off. So it's 2 stories, in fact, in this kind of special. So it's a one-shot, so slightly larger than your regular comic. And the first one is called Scared Shipless, which is written by Chad Bowers, Chris Sims, and with art by Owen Marin. And then the second story is Cemetery Man, which I think is a reference to the Italian film with Rupert Everett, written by Benito Serino and art by Sam Lotfi. So the first story is in Charlestown, South Carolina, and it is a guy telling us about Blackbeard and the history of Blackbeard and him being a pirate and holding the town to ransom. If you played Assassin's Creed 4 or Black Flag or whatever they call it, you'll kind of know the story a little bit. If not, it's very easy to find. But they were ill, the pirates, and they were holding the town for ransom for the doctors, not for money or anything else or power or women, but they wanted to be cured of their ailments. So in this particular version, their ailment is a byproduct of them being cursed by the Necronomicon. There's the whole kind of back history, and we learn the person that is talking about this is a tour guide for a spooky ghost tour, and Ash is there, and he is basically making fun of him, taking the piss. He's very annoyed and frustrated, and doesn't think it's scary or interesting at all, and he wonders where his date is. So the reason he's here is he's on a dating website, much like we all are, I'm sure, trying to find love, and it's like Boomstick Guy or Big Boomstick 69 is his profile. So again, he's this kind of lovable loser. He's badass and cool when he needs to be, but also he's very relatable, silly and stupid, and just a great, well-rounded kind of character. And it's all Bruce Campbell's charm. I love those films. Love him in basically anything he's in. And again, these comics have been very popular. There's not, they've not kind of been out of print, really. I mean, there's always a mini-series or a crossover or something going on with this franchise, and Dynamite Entertainment have kind of taken and run with it for like the last over 10 years, I believe. They've had the license. So and I don't see them any sign of stopping. But he's making fun, he's taking the piss, and he's wondering where this woman is. Doesn't really interest him. He's bored. So he's constantly taking the piss out of the people there, or he's like, where are all the women? Where are the hot women? Where are the big busty ladies? And ends up offending an old lady. Carries on with the tour, but he's kind of wondering maybe he should leave. And then another woman comes over who is another tour guide in this, and he realizes it's her. And he has been actually catfished by the first geeky, weird tour guide. And he gets bonked on the head with this plank with nails in, and he is thrown off the side by this same guy. So he's been catfished by the original tour guide, the male tour guide, and he's thrown into the waters. On the profile, Ash is quite obviously self-aggrandizing because that's who he is, says he's the chosen one or the promised one. He says he knows where the Necronomicon is, or he danced with dealt with the Necronomicon, or I'm not sure again where it falls in the continuity of the books or the release schedule. I don't know where the Necronomicon is at this point in the timeline in the books. Kind of doesn't matter. I think in the films there's multiple, so you could argue it's one of those, I guess. But he throws him into the waters, and due to his being near the Necronomicon, being kind of tainted by the magic, he brings back Blackbeard and his entire ship back from the dead. The tour guide thinks he's going to rule all of South Carolina once he joins Blackbeard. He's obsessed with Blackbeard. It's his favorite historical figure. And then Ash comes out, and he's almost hit by a cannonball, which is a skull. And it's swallow your soul, like Evil Dead 2. Again, brilliant, funny, hilarious. And yeah, the Blackbeard design's really cool, kind of zombified Blackbeard. He's got the little kind of burning kind of string, but it's kind of like a green flame and stuff. Yeah, really, really nice artwork. Really solid, fun, kind of horrific, kind of blocky, charming. It captures the vibe. It's not doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's horrific enough, but also kind of cartoony and fun enough that it captures the humor as well. So really solid artwork here as well. I do recommend. Yeah, and then him and the lady that I can't blanking on her name at the moment. I think her name is Jenny. Jenny, yes, it is Jenny. So they have to team up because Teddy, who is the first tour guide, he basically is trying to team up with Blackbeard and join his crew, and Blackbeard allows this because he has information. He knows where the Necronomicon is, which he needs, and he walks him on the boat, and he's very happy about this, but is then immediately transformed into a deadite. And yeah, he's then, one of them. But yeah, and there's loads of fun. He's like, Teddy's like, I'm going to go down in history, and then Ash is like, yeah, Captain Shit for Brains. Again, really nailing the humor, really nailing the kind of sarky kind of attitude and character of Ash, like really, really well. I think they've just absolutely nailed who he is, and the characterization is there in this. So yeah, he burns and becomes a deadite, and then Jenny and Ash have to go back, and then you've got the tooling up sequence, and they're there, and they're kind of basically driving this. Is it the car? The Sam Raimi car? Yeah, of course it is. It's the Sam Raimi car, of course it is. They're running down all the kind of pirates and deadites, and then Jenny kind of swings the car, and Ash flies out the door with his chainsaw, attacking and fighting with Blackbeard, kicking him in the face, and yeah, brilliant stuff. And they have a battle, and he gets the best of Ash, in fact. Jenny comes on with the boomstick and then takes out Teddy, and then Blackbeard's like, oh, your flintlock's empty. And she's like, mate, this is a double-barreled shotgun. Arms have come a long way since you had flintlock pistols. And then blows his head off. Brilliant. And then they both, again, she's not a big fan of Ash. She thinks he's a bit of a creep and a weirdo. And I think sometimes you could have this character verge into that kind of weird kind of, toxic masculinity, area. But I think luckily this story never does that. It kind of shows that he's an idiot, and he's after women. And he's kind of a little misogynistic maybe, but his heart's probably in the right place overall. And they both kind of, get on eventually, and then they've saved the day. And Jenny and him have taken care of everybody. And they're like, hey, we should go on a real date. And Jenny's like, did you not think this was a real date? Again, it is set on Halloween as well. So they talk about going to trick or treat, and again, the idea that it's on Halloween is the why the spirit realm and the earth realm are, they're a little bit closer on Halloween, so there's all that, and that was the reason why Blackbeard came back. But yeah, really solid, fun, short and sweet, captures the essence of the character and the book and the films. A bit more of a kind of a feminine hero in this as well, which I think is good. Nice balance to Ash and someone for him to play off against. And she doesn't take any shit, but yeah, really, really good fun, and yeah, really, really fun story. So the next one is Cemetery Man is not as good, I'll be honest. It's got a kind of again, I think it's named after that Italian. I think it's Michel. Is it Michel? Can't remember his name, but there's an Italian director who did a film called Cemetery Man. Go check it out. I've still not seen it myself, but it was kind of inspired by Dylan Dog because the script was written by the guy who created that character, and that's a very popular Italian character with very kind of horror theming. But yes, so yeah, it's about a group of kids going to the cemetery, and they're going to do like a ritual. One kid is unsure about the whole thing. All the other kids, it's a very kind of Night of the Demons, if you've seen that, which is also set on Halloween. Maybe I'll do that one year. But yeah, it's so it's basically them getting there, and they go with a Ouija board and they do the thing. One kid's a bit unsure about this, so they get a talisman, which is like a chicken leg from a kind of a weird dude in a kind of a hipster place. So that, yeah, they do the ritual and they all turn into deadites, apart from her, because she has the chicken leg. Ash turns up and he basically destroys them all. Chop in. It's a great splash page with him standing in front of all the different panels of the fight. So all of them are told. It's very, very well. It's very well thought out. They clearly had a page limit, and they went, "How do we show this? How do we show him arriving and also show the fight?" So they put him in the front of the page, and he's kind of like very heroic pose, much like the poster for Army of Darkness. But in the panels behind him, you see the subsequent fight, which I think is very clever and what's the word? Economic, let's say, with a page count and the way you are telling that story. So I think that's a really good little trick that they've used there. But yeah, so he kills them all. The girl is left, and she's like, "I summoned you using this chicken leg," and he's like, "That's all hocus pocus, mumbo jumbo." He said he was here just to hook up with college girls. Okay, and get free beer. But there are no college girls to hook up with. So, well, I mean, thank God he's not going to hook up with this one. But he does drink the beer, and then they sit there and enjoy the Halloween, which again, all the kids are being like, "This is going to be lit. This is going to be so lit." I don't know if anybody says lit anymore. I mean, this was 2018, so maybe it was something people said then. I don't know if it's something people say now. But yeah, it wasn't as great. I think the art's pretty solid. Again, very similar in style to the previous art, but yeah, it's a bit more stylized. I think it's a bit cleaner, and there's a lot more kind of depth and texture, and there's a lot more shading as well going on with the artwork. So it's fine. It's not great, but it doesn't really. Also, I mean, if you're looking for Ash, he's barely in this story, which I guess is going to be disappointing for some. But it's harmless. It's fine. It's not what I expected. It's not necessarily what I wanted. But I think, again, it's not told poorly. It's not badly written. It is not badly drawn. It's just fine. It's fine. I maybe would have preferred if the first story was stretched out a bit longer, scared shipless, but it is not. So we get this as well, but I'm happy enough with what I got. I think if you're looking for a quick, nice, easy read, then this is it. This is the one for you. If you're looking for a spooky Halloween inspired comic and you like Army of Darkness, I think you'll have a fun time here. But yeah, this is it. So yeah, I'm going to be putting out these polls again for my patrons, so they will pick exactly what they're going to get. They are also still going to get their exclusives for Halloween. I'm going to record those early. I've already decided what I'm doing for that, just to kind of speed that up. But the public ones are voting for them. So if you want to choose what this is, I mean, by this point, by the time you're listening to this, they'll have already been chosen. But why aren't you on the Patreon? Why aren't you being a Patreon pioneer, a Patreon papa, a Patreon piper? I don't know what I'm talking about. But if you want to listen to me talk about obscure comics, popular comics, sequels to some of your favorite cult films, that's usually what I do, and other stuff as well. I'll do other things. You get early releases, you get all these polls that can affect the course of Spider-Dan and the Secret Boar's history. Why aren't you jumping on it? It's £3 per month. Per month. That's it. Nothing. It's less than a cup of coffee. So get on it, do it. I hope you're enjoying. I hope you're having a good Halloween. I hope you're having a good spooky season. I'm sure all you guys are doing something really fun and cool, and I'm going to be doing something fun and cool. And doing this early will give me time to prepare and do more stuff. All the stuff we've already done this year has been amazing. I'm sure in the future, Dan will have done some amazing stuff. Thank you. Well, well, I guess future and past Dan. Oh, it's timey-wimey. It's all timey-wimey. But yeah, thank you guys. As always, you can find me in spiderdanandthesecretboars.com. If you want me to do more Evil Dead stuff or other stuff, let me know. But you can do it if you let me know on Patreon. That's more likely to get stuff you actually want if you give me a holler over there and donate some money. So, and again, I appreciate it. It's not for everybody. Money's tight for everybody, but I do appreciate if you can spare some money. I really, really do appreciate it. It goes towards some of these rarer comics because some of them are out of print and massively expensive, and it also goes towards technology as well, like new microphones. But yeah, so yeah, please consider it. I really do appreciate all the people who donate and all the people who support other ways. Share, like, comment, do all the good things, follow, all of the things. I don't know what social medias I'm on at the moment. After, again, this has been recorded in January, and TikTok and all this other shit is going all up the wall. President Trump's inaugurated. Fucking hell, here we go again. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know where we are social media-wise, but I will have a website regardless, so check it out. There's other things you can get hold of me in other ways, but yeah, please do. You guys are amazing. Thank you for keeping up with me and following all this. Check out some of the Shock-Phobia stuff from last year. You know, things like, what did we do last year? What did we do? The Cult podcast. We did. There's other things, all the other things that I'm forgetting. I can't even remember. It was the Batman, the controversial Batman podcast we did, and many more things. But yeah, thank you again, guys, and I hope you're having a happy Halloween. And this is just the first part of Shock-Phobia Fest. Goodbye.